Good day, kings and queens. Welcome to another installment of the martial attack in the Ruy Lopez. This is one other game I found. I know you're probably thinking, oh, he's just showing his wins. I will be showing a couple of losses. I'm just covering them like this, knowing where I need to strengthen, and of course, also where I need to double down sort of on my strengths in certain openings, and then where I need to cover certain weaknesses, because some of the games really I will never forget, because I usually do thorough analysis, especially of games I won afterwards, because like Capablanca said, you will probably learn more from a game you lost than one you won, because that has a lot of margin of growth basically for you to improve on. Because you would have lost, it means you probably would have done more than one error, multiple ones. So anyway, without further ado, this was a Ruy Lopez e4 e5. You guys know by now I'm a classical e5 player. Against d4, I'll be covering a lot of other sort of unusual openings, or actually not unusual, but like what most people would play at my level. But our level, because I'd like to think probably no GM is watching this, or I am, like your Scotch Gambit, your Goran Gambit, stuff that you're likely to come across, which I have in my online games, and I'll show you how I treat those particular openings. But anyway, without wasting further time, let's just get to it. Now, opponent here is an opponent from this. I think this is Georgia, Costa Rica, actually. Oh, it's not even Georgia. Not bad. But he played e4. Started out 1 e4. Then, of course, 1 e5, knight f3, knight c6. This is opening king's knight variation, it says here, but it's pretty standard. Then bishop b5 is the beginning of the Spanish opening. And I played the classical line. I haven't really learned the Benoni. The Berlin defense. It's pretty interesting, but I probably won't learn it for the next, 20, 30, 40 years. Practically until I die. I don't know, but should I just continue learning chess more and more? I'll probably have it as a staple in my arsenal. You never know when you might need it. It's just, there's a lot of theory really, but I actually have a book on just the Berlin defense. I forgot the author, but I have this book. It's just lying around somewhere in the shelf here, but I have it. It's a very interesting line, but I play the classical a6. I won't explain this again. This is just theory, really. Bishop a4, knight f6. Short castles. Now I play b5, bishop b3. Bishop e7 is an indication that I want to play the marshal, which is something you guys know I play, because right here I could just simply go for moves like d6, which I believe is some weird Gregorian defense or something of that matter, and then it encourages c3, because when you play e7, right, when you play bishop e7, which is what I play, usually they will go for like anti-martial lines, like with h3, h4, d3, right, h3, all these other playable lines. They're very respectable, to be fair. Or I think even the mediate open d4 is playable. I'm not quite sure. It's more than theory, right? People play in a lot of sorts of fun ways, and they're all practical, really. I think the more and more we grow in chess, the more we realize, like, chess is a weird thing, because you find that main lines become antique things and sidelines become parts that are now like the main roads. Then the main roads become overgrown with weeds, and then we no longer use them. It's a very weird cycle. So openings sort of always have this rise and fall trend. It becomes trendy, it's out of fashion, then again. But we are learning more and more now with the use of engines that really there's just chess to be played. Some moves that were thought to be dubious back in the day are actually quite good. So it's an amazing time to live in and play chess. What a century. Anyway, bishop e7 is what I play, indicating that I'm reserving the option, because I cannot play the marshal now. Let's say if I played this d6 line and then now he plays c3, do you realize that now I can't play the marshal? The bishop is not here. It's awkward. This is just a bad move. So that's why this move order is so profound because it also reserved the option of going on d6 on the next move, right? Should he play like d3, I still reserve the option of d6 afterwards, and then we go into your Zaitsev, we go into your Chigorian openings, whatever, all that jazz. So bishop e7, very flexible, pretty standard. I'm just explaining that part because I feel like most beginners here, they would make a lot of mistake in terms of not really remembering the move order unless you just cram the opening, but then you need to understand why. Very important, and that's what I sort of want to have as a culture on this channel, that let's not just cram opening theory, let's actually understand why certain moves are played than others. Let's develop our chess sense, so to speak. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get back into it. Short castles, pretty standard, and then my opponent, like the good sport he is, okay, c3, inviting me to play the marshal. I will not think twice. I will play d5, takes, pretty standard, takes, rook takes, c6, pretty standard, d4 main line, bishop d6 main line, rook e1 ultra main line, right? Queen h4 main line. I won't explain all of these things really, but the whole idea in the marshal is that you have this kingside pressure here, and if white fails to defend, in theory, for being just a pawn down, black gets this huge initiative, right? This rook lifts here, it's a mess. It's fun. So g3 main line, queen h3 main line, and believe it or not, there's still a lot of main lines going here. I mean, there's a main line all the way to what is known as the marshal attack endgame, which is one other dynamic line. So here is where my opponent really got a little bit goofy with it. He played queen d3. Now, in and of itself, it's not a bad move, but I think he maybe crammed this because this usually comes after a line like, let me show you. The main line here is bishop e3, which is the best move. Now here, the series of moves, I can play bishop g4, I can play bishop e6, and then followed by rook e8, or followed by rook b8, and then thrusting this b4 moves, sort of like undermining the strong pawn chain that white has over here. Those are the ideas, really. So yeah, and you need to understand also, upon like the move bishop g5 is not getting mated, even though there are these weaknesses, but those are easy defendable moves like queen f3, because now the queen is headed over there, right? Here usually white can play, I think, something like I think rook e8, or is it because I know moves like a lot of moves, I think, even if bishop f3, obviously queen will just land there, right? And then there's this queen h5 move, then there's this h4 move, but there are lines where we quickly exchange queens and then you go into what is known as the endgame. In fact, some lines you go in the endgame with the queens on the board, but there's a line where this rook lands here, these rooks see each other, and then the pieces just get exchanged and you keep one pair of rooks. Very dynamic. And some of it also, then black launches like this f5 g5 line, very long, complicated stuff. Interesting to study for those of you who want to study the Ruy Lopez, the martial attack. I would highly suggest it. There are really crazy lines that I've studied and even came across in my Blitz and Rapid online games, which I'll be obviously covering more of as time goes on. And here we didn't go for this line because he didn't play bishop e3, which was the main line. He played this queen d3 move instead. So I played bishop g4, and I think it was better to actually hit the queen immediately with bishop f4. And then if queen there, still just classical stuff, queen h5, guarding that over there, preparing rook d6, or maybe this rook, and then play like f5 after sidestepping this with the king here. I don't know. You can play, there are a lot of ideas. It's very rich in ideas. So bishop takes, which was a slight inaccuracy, I believe. And then of course, oh, sorry about that. Pawn takes over there, and then queen there, and then queen h5 was the best move. Don't exchange. right? Keep the pieces on board. Now this f5 move was actually a bad move. It was not a bad move, but it was an inaccuracy. He still had to like develop, because like in the marshal, you get the pawn, right, to have this strong pawn chain, but you always sort of are behind in development. Black gets this lead in development and this initiative, and so if you're not developing like pieces to sort of like come to the play here to the fore to guard this king over here, you create problems for yourself. That's the idea, right? It's a way to play. That's how you should play. But he's not. He's playing moves like f4. I'm like, wait a minute. This is goofy. What's going on here? So rook fe8, pass move, and then he decided to play this bishop here, blocking this diagonal because he doesn't want to really exchange. Then I played rook e6 pass move, because these are typical ideas really. Here I was just really playing like on autopilot after having studied a lot of Grandmaster games. By the way, I recommend a lot of games by Levon Aronian for Black in the Marshall. He pioneered some crazy ideas. Some games he played in like the 2006, 2008 years. Yeah, Levon is one of the like in my opinion best technicians or tacticians of chess. Like when it comes to the, I mean, he's pioneered other ideas in other openings, but like I feel like one where he's truly had a lot of contribution and dominance was the Ruy Lopez. Like in any Ruy Lopez line, even in the exchange variation, in the delayed exchange variation, for Black, Levon has just played some insane novelties that have became man lines over the years, that have became like they have became the norm, and it was pioneered by that man. So shout out to Levon, love him for that. And that's the best way to study openings, guys. Really, don't study opening books. Pick an opening. If you have a database, search grandmasters and see who's like the leading expert or grandmaster who plays it often in that, and then study their games. You learn openings like that and you understand and extract information why, right? Anyway, we'll blab about chess pedagogy and study all of that and methodology in other videos. Let's get back to the recap. So that's the idea basically of rook e6. I don't have to explain it. Also, it keeps this option open of swinging over the rook to the side and just sort of attacking, because like the pieces, Black's pieces like are always aiming at the king side in these lines. Moves like g5 here, an idea, g5, I mean, yeah, stuff like that. Like just launch, even maybe here, I don't know, launch a belligerent attack and then exchange that into that. If that happens, you never really know. But this is how to play, basically. This is how you play. Knight d2, good move. Now he decides to develop, but by the time he does this, I mean, I am arriving here, right? I am here. I am meeting him on the e file. Hello, hello. I'm knocking on his doorstep, right? He's a little bit too late. Now he plays this move queen f2, which I thought was funny because it was cramping up his position. And now you can tell the EVA bar has been at minus 1.4 for a long time. It's slightly increased. And then I played queen f5. What was the idea? Oh, I wanted to swing the queen over to here, right? This is a juicy square. Now, all of a sudden, this b2 pawn is looking all tender and all attractive. And remember, he cannot, like, carelessly exchange here as well. Because, like, where is this knight going? Here, maybe. It cannot really go here. No, can it go there? It can come here, but it's about to go down on that side of the board, because if it goes here, then I just take, then queen takes, and then just queen here, and then the pressure on this bishop is too much and it can't move away, because then the queens will see each other. I hope you guys can see that. It's about to go. It's about to happen, right? For example, let me just actually show you this line. If knight like comes here, just that, and then there's that, right? Maybe then now he has to play this. But I think here I can, yeah, this is equal actually. This is what I thought. Maybe not even queen e2, maybe not even taking actually, and just ignore him altogether, or actually play it now. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there was obviously a better move. Even maybe just putting the queen back, hitting it twice, I don't know. Okay, but now it's gonna land here. Maybe even a move like f6, just chilling, just prevent the knight from jumping in here and just chill. Yeah, maybe f6 is better. Yeah, I think I'd play x6 in f6. I mean, in a natural game. Yeah, the evil bar is not moving. Seems like it's the best move. I don't know. I haven't really analyzed it, but yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. So anyway, he played. We were here where knight moved to d2, right? Developing, and then I got here. I was arriving. Queen f5. He played knight f1, which was suspicious, and here I played f6. Now f6 is an idea. I want to play g5 and shred open here because this pawn is not going to move, right? I'm looking for this pawn break. It's an important pawn break. That's why I played f6. The idea is to play g5 and then shred open this position. If he does not take, I'm going to take again this way, and this rook is ready to swing over this side. Remember that earlier idea? Yeah, it's still applicable. So bishop d2, there he succumbs. Blunder. Now here you need to understand that there's nothing wrong with taking, which is just equal, but it loses the advantage, really. It loses the advantage. Like, why would I want to do that to myself, right? 0-0. However, there's this move my opponent never anticipated, which was, I was happy, actually, I found. Rook e2 instead, exclamation mark. Hits the queen, dislodges like his coordination in his camp. This queen doesn't really have squares. Where's it going, right? And it's actually lost. The queen is trapped. Yeah, the queen is trapped because if it takes and then just take, the queen is trapped. He lost his queen on the spot. He didn't see this. He overlooked this. So after rook e1, I think he played like knight here. Now I could just simply take and then he takes, but then this holds because then this knight will be protected. Nope, that does not move that way. Twice with this bishop, 3 times with the rook and with the king as well once it lands here on f2. And I played the best move, which is just to chop down the knight because the queen is still hanging, right? And you need to understand something here. If the queen goes further down, it's better to take a free piece than to be an exchange. Then now I can actually exchange all the material here, right? So this was the best way to play, because now if queen here, for example, then just boom, 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 boom. I'm a full piece up. This is completely winning, right? In fact, here now I think queen f2. Yeah, it's winning. It's just winning. So after this, takes, took the queen, bishop takes, bishop f3, rook e3, bishop e4. Right now, the idea here was to hunt down the king, basically, because now I'm gonna land there and want to deliver checkmate here. This has nasty threats, right? And then he played king f1. So here this was another critical moment in the game. I thought here that queen h4 check, maybe here, and then takes, or even here, to be honest. But like, then what's my next move? What's my follow-up move, right? And so I thought to myself, I'm not gonna play that, and I played g5 instead, which was actually, I think, the best move as well. I can't really remember, but I found g5 because then this rook is also here, just to shred open. Like, I just want to deliver mate while the king is here, because if I give him the check, you need to understand the idea here. If I give him the check, right, and he comes here, and maybe let's say I successfully get to play g5, the problem with this is now that the rook is actually open to sink to any of these squares once there are exchanges here, or if I take that way and then he takes this way, you understand? So the rook kind of like arrives and gets in the game, and I wanted to keep the rook here as far as possible as I can. So that's why I thought like g5 was a well-timed move here and more practical, rather than giving the check instead, because this rook is still out of play, and I'm building momentum in breaking on the side where the king is placed, right? So that's how you should think in chess. So he takes, I took, still chilling, and then king here finally, right? The idea is to get the rook in the game. That's the idea. And here I found an interesting, a clever move. Bishop b1, exclaim, putting the rook in position, right? He cannot get out. He cannot take, because then I take. It doesn't make sense. And here I thought his defense, which I think he found, was king f1, which he played. Sorry about that. King f1. Now you need to understand here, I cannot go willy-nilly with queen f2, right? Because he can actually hit me with rook e2, I think, and then have to play something like this. And I think here there's some way for him to find time, even moves like h4. This is what I actually had calculated. There's not really much going on. Yeah, because I thought if like check here, check, I didn't really see a way to go like and handle this position further. And like now this is bad. Okay, the engine says it's winning, but where's the win? I don't know. Where's the win? Check here. He just snaps it. Oh, then I snap there. I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't really quite see how I could follow up here. And I think I was also just fatigued. Couldn't see like a way forward. But yeah, I played this move, thought it was super clever. Engine likes it as well. King f1. Then I played h5. And he just resigned. He resigned because as soon as this goes here, then I give this check. Now the king further has to go this way again. Now all he had worked for to bring the king out this way kind of like goes to shreds really, because I'm forcing him back this way. And at the same time, I'm about to meet him here on h4 and break, right? Oh, no. And just break somewhere or the other here. So it's completely crushing. It's going to be slow, but it's going to come. I mean, this is like a queen against these, because you have this bishop for this bishop, right? So it's like a queen and a bishop against two rooks. I mean, it's just crushing. And this is immobile. This is immobile. This was a beautiful game, a very crushing and convincing defeat, very clean as well. I think I scored like about 92% for this one. It is pretty interesting. Game review, yeah, 93 actually, accuracy. That was that one great move that was, I believe, the bishop b1 move, I think. Oh, it was a rookie too, not even bishop b1. It was pretty standard. Oh yes, this was the only great move. A beautiful game in the Ruy Lopez. And like I said, giving you guys advice that this graph is where you want to look and improve where you made mistakes and see how you improve from that if you want to quickly improve from chess. And I was really glad, and I played this one very cleanly because once I sort of started like taking the advantage, like it never really dropped. It just kept on increasing and increasing and increasing. Okay, it kind of decreased here a bit from minus 2.18 to 1.6 to minus 1.6, but then it also just kept increasing and increasing until it was just completely crushing, really, right? So it was a beautiful game, very clean. I enjoy these e4 e5 positions, especially in the Ruy Lopez. I hope you enjoyed this game too. I just wanted to share this one with you. A very convincing win, and it was a great win for me. I enjoyed it. See you in the next one, Kings and Queens. Have a beautiful day. Have a great day, actually. From wherever you're watching this from, whether it's at school or you're hanging out with friends or whatever, I appreciate it. Please do drop a like, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what are your thoughts, what you want to see me cover, all that jazz, all that nice YouTube jazz. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.